A rogue republic, a rising powder keg, and President Donald Trump at the center of it all. Somaliland says recognition is now within reach, and Washington might be the first to break ranks. If true, this move could ignite fury in Mogadishu, fracture the Horn of Africa, and trigger a diplomatic earthquake. Is Washington about to redraw the map of Somalia? The countdown has begun. The new president of Somaliland, Abdirahman Mohamed Abdullahi, says his state, which broke away from Somalia in 1991, is on the brink of securing international recognition. This development would inflame tensions in the already tumultuous Horn of Africa. In an interview at the presidential palace in the capital, Hargeisa, Abdullahi told The Guardian it is likely that Somaliland will finally win acceptance of its right to self-determination, which has eluded the territory since it declared independence from Somalia 34 years ago.
Recognition is on the horizon. It's a matter of time. Not if, but when and who will lead the recognition of Somaliland.
Such a move would infuriate Somalia, which would view it as an attack on its sovereignty, unsettle regional powers in the strategic peninsula, and fan broader concern that it sets a precedent for secessionist movements across the African continent. Despite its relative stability and regular democratic elections, Somaliland, a territory of about 5 million people, has yet to be recognized as independent by a single nation. The Guardian reported, citing Somaliland sources, that the goal has never been closer amid signs that the U.S. President, Donald Trump, could be the first leader to recognize the self-declared republic in return for building a military base near the port of Berbera, a strategic location on the Gulf of Aden. Abdullahi revealed that U.S. military officials, including the Horn of Africa's most senior officer, have recently visited Hargeisa. Another Washington delegation is expected to evaluate the asset Berbera. The U.S., like other great powers, has been interested in Somaliland because of its strategic location. It is on the African shores of the Gulf of Aden, across from the Arabian Peninsula. Its geographical position has gained currency recently as Yemeni Houthi rebels strike maritime traffic in the busy shipping lanes. Somaliland is also well located to curb piracy and smuggling on this global trade route. The U.S. Africa Command set up its main Horn of Africa base at Camp Lemonnier in Djibouti in 2002, following the September 11th attacks in 2001. But concern is growing over Chinese influence there as Beijing continues to strengthen its ties with Africa. Project 2025, the alleged blueprint for the second Trump presidency, proposes the recognition of Somaliland as a hedge against the U.S.'s deteriorating position in Djibouti. In 2017, China, which had become the main foreign economic power in the Horn of Africa, set up a Navy support facility in Djibouti. This encouraged closer collaboration between American and Somaliland authorities. The U.S. played with the idea of establishing a base in Berbera, which hosts Somaliland's largest port. With Donald Trump winning the U.S. presidential election in 2024, there were reports of an increased push for U.S. recognition of Somaliland. This would allow the U.S. to deepen its trade and security partnerships in the volatile Horn of Africa region. Since March 2025, representatives of the Trump administration have engaged in talks with Somaliland officials to establish a U.S. military base near Berbera. This would be in exchange for a formal but partial recognition of Somaliland. U.S. recognition would reward Hargeisa for its persistent effort to maintain stability and promote democracy. However, it could encourage other nations to recognize Somaliland. This would deliver a blow to Somali nationalists who want one state for all Somalis. Meanwhile, Kenya reaffirmed its commitment to Somalia's territorial integrity and unity, including semi-autonomous regions of Jubaland and Somaliland under the federal government in Mogadishu. Kenya's Foreign Office, in a statement issued on May 26th, reaffirmed its commitment, part of Nairobi's broader effort to avoid reigniting historical tensions, fueled by past diplomatic missteps. The Ministry of Foreign and Diaspora Affairs underscored Kenya's respect for Somalia's sovereignty, territorial integrity, national unity, and political independence. stating that it unequivocally recognizes Mogadishu as the sole legitimate authority over all Somali territories. Nairobi, however, maintained it will seek to advance partnerships with Jubaland and Somaliland.
To advance the partnership, Kenya will maintain contact and relations with subnational governments in Jubaland and Somaliland, and in consultation with the federal government of Somalia to establish contact and as well as diplomatic presence as may be agreed from time to time, with the aim of supporting security cooperation and commercial interests, and in line with the principles of mutual respect and good neighbourliness.
Kenya has experienced repeated diplomatic tensions with Somalia, often triggered by engagements between senior Kenyan officials and representatives from Somaliland. The latest move comes just weeks after Nairobi and Mogadishu agreed to normalize relations, following a protracted dispute over a maritime boundary in the Indian Ocean.